Hi everybody, it's Suzanne. Welcome back. In today's video, I am going to share with you a homeschool library haul. I've considered doing these in the past, and what finally made me decide to make one of these videos is I realized that I've watched quite a few from other homeschoolers at this point, and I have gotten books out of the library as a result of viewing those videos, as well as I've purchased some books because of that. I thought it was the least I could do to give back to all those who have supported me through my homeschooling journey thus far. We may be a virtual community, however, that doesn't mean the support isn't real. I'm going to start off with a couple of books that I think are absolutely gorgeous, and they are definitely nature themed. This is called The Lost Words, and it's by Robert McFarlane and Jackie Morris. And this is absolutely stunning, and it's won tons of awards. The premise of this book is when the latest edition of the Oxford Dictionary was printed, somebody noticed that there were 20 words, nature words, deleted from the book, and this is to rectify that situation. The list of these lost words included acorn, adder, bluebell, dandelion, fern, heron, kingfisher, newt, otter, and willow. In response, Robert McFarlane and Jackie Morris set out to make a spell book that would conjure back 20 of these lost words and the beings they named from acorn to wren. And by the magic of word and paint, they sought to summon these words into the voices, stories, and dreams of children alike. Okay, so this is a book of wonder, and I'm just going to show you one of these. You can pause if you want to read it. Make sure that's showing. Oh, I can see why people are raving about this book. It is so lovely in terms of illustrations, in terms of prose, in terms of poetry, in terms of intention. It's definitely a winner. Now, I will say what I think is not a winner, and I guess this is a choice. They chose to make like a table coffee book. And I am not a fan of this size at all. I have no idea what to do with this. We don't even have a coffee table anymore. And I have another book that's this size about trees, and I never know where to put it. I'm personally not going to buy this book because of the size, which is a bit disappointing, but there you go. Another book by the same authors is called The Lost Spells. This is a book of spells to be spoken out loud. Here you'll find conjurings and charms, presents that protect, and spells that protest, tongue twisters, blessings. This is equally stunning as the first book, and I would even say more so, really. But I think that's just a personal choice. Ooh. Yeah. Ooh. Look at that. Yeah. What I find really ironic is I didn't like the first book because it was too tall, and I don't like this book because it's too small. I'm like Goldilocks for books, I guess, because I did go to purchase this one, and I couldn't seem to make myself do it, and it has to do with the size. I wish it was like a normal size book, even like a middle grade book instead of this little tiny one. The sizing of these books is interesting. The next book that I really liked, it's called Wow, Look What Birds Can Do, a book of extraordinary facts. Really cute. I think it's for younger children. Not that we didn't enjoy it. We learned many things from this book. It's just, I don't think we'd ever reread it because we've moved on to books with a lot more information. So I just think this is a book to buy when a child is younger. But if you have it in your library, it's definitely worth checking out once for sure. And here's another book that I wish I had have discovered when Vivian was younger. There's a whole series of these, and this is by Peggy Kochnoff. I hope I pronounced that properly. And this one in particular is called Be a Pond Detective, Solving the Mysteries of Lakes, Swamps, and Pools. There is a lot of information in these books. I'm not sure how many more you would need after these. Unless you wanted to get really specific about something in particular. And like I said, this author has many of these nature books. Look. Okay, so we have a bird feeder up this year, and we have a pair of these visiting us this summer, and I couldn't figure out what was happening because this is the red-winged blackbird, and I thought this kind of looked like a overgrown sparrow, which I still think it does. And the female is much smaller than the blackbird in our backyard, but then I looked it up and finally figured out that it's a mated pair. And if you are from the Maritimes, then definitely check out this author. And another book I really wanted to have a look at, this is called Around the Year, and this is by Elsa Bascal. And this is another series I wish I had have bought when Vivian was younger. I hear a great video topic here. The books I wish I had have bought my child or children when they were young. There's a series of these books, and I would say this would go on that list for me because you could buy them when they're younger and read them multiple times. And she does really lovely drawings, and this is poetry, and there's one there for every month of the year, which I think is a lot of fun. I know our other books really are about the seasons. There's a whole series of books written by her with the same kind of artistry and poetry that is all about seasons, so definitely check those out. We've done a lot of poetry tea time in our house since we started out. We've been doing them since Vivian was 4 years old. She just turned 8. And so I'm always on the lookout for new poetry books. And the book I'm about to show you was on a list that somebody suggested in a homeschool Facebook group. And if you're not in a homeschool Facebook groups and you're at home a lot with your kids, definitely check them out. There's so many resources passed back and forth. It's incredible. And this was one of them. It's called I'm Just No Good at Rhyming and Other Nonsense for Mischievous Kids and Immature Grown-Ups. And this is by Chris Harris, and it's illustrated by Lane Smith. Now, we've read quite a few out of this so far, and it's really funny. There's a lot of rhyming. There's a lot of rhyming and a lot of silliness. So, and we read a lot all at once. I decided not to get this for our personal library, and not because it's not any good, because it is. It's very good. It's just we read so many in one sitting that I don't think we would open it up enough to get our money's worth, so to speak. So I would definitely get it out of the library again. However, if it was 3 years ago when Vivian was like 5, I think it would have been one of the best books because it's funny. So I love Shel Silverstein, and it kind of has that feel. I mean, I still prefer his poetry. However, it has the same feel in terms of rhyming, and it's fun to get through and keeps the child's interest. And so with that in mind, definitely, if you have a younger child, go for it. I think you'd read it quite a bit. I will also say, though, if you can get it out of the library, I've been trying to make myself get everything out of the library first, unless I've gotten a really great review. But that doesn't always mean that I'm going to like it if somebody else does. You really have to understand somebody else's taste, I think, first. Anyway, the library is a great resource to check out books before you purchase if you have the opportunity to do so. This is quite a large selection of books. However, I'm about to go camping. They're all going back to the library. So I'm going to include them all here. Hopefully you can get a few out of here. I'm sure you can, especially if you like nature books, that sort of thing. This one, and unfortunately we didn't get to read it all. I'm going to have to get it out when we come back. This is called Can You Hear the Trees Talking? Discover the Hidden Life of the Forest. And this is by Peter Wolben. And I love this book. This is one that may show itself in a book haul in the future. It has pretty much any question you would want to ask about trees. I'm just going to show you. Okay, so the contents, table of contents. It has pretty much anything you want to know about trees. This book I've seen recommended everywhere, and I was really nervous to purchase this, even though I almost did a couple of times, but I thought I'd better see it because I've not had the best luck with drawing books and painting books, that sort of thing. So I'm now trying to be as smart about my purchases as possible. This is called The Laws Guide to Drawing Birds, and it's illustrated and written by John Muir Laws. And there's a foreword in here by David Allen Sibley. And before I open it, I'll say this. I want it for our shelves now. It looks... The reason that I think we could use this really well is because although it's quite detailed in the steps, it isn't overwhelming and the steps are quite simple. And the way that it's laid out, you could tell that you could definitely draw these yourself if you followed the directions. So, I mean, I don't know how well, yeah. Obviously, everybody's skill set's going to be different, but in terms of the know-how and the steps, it's all there, and I think it would make a great book if you really wanted to have like a bird study for drawing. Definitely. Then we have What It's Like to Be a Bird by David Allen Sibley. And, from flying to nesting, eating to singing, what birds are doing and why. I have a lot of bird books now, and I wanted to have a look at this because I heard people talking about it, and I really, really want this book. We have an introduction in here that's literally all the information you'd want to. It has quite a bit of information about birds that you can look at, but it's further on that makes me want this so much. The illustrations, oh my goodness, look at them. This is truly a work of art. So if you've been around for a while, you know I absolutely love beautiful books because this is true artistry and it's full of information. Look at this. I think over the next year when I fill my shelves with more of these that you're seeing, I'm going to do a favorites because I've bought a lot of bird books and oh my goodness. Yes, I'm going to show you 2 more books about birds, and I couldn't decide which one I would want. If you're looking for a book about backyard feeders, which I was, and here are 2 that look amazing. Why I say I don't know which one to order is because I haven't had a chance to really get into these in depth, and I don't know which one is better per se, or if you'd want both. Sometimes I find information is just repetitive if you get too many of these kind of books. But I definitely want to read this one. I definitely think if it was your one book about getting birds and attracting birds in your backyard, you couldn't do wrong. I've already decided that next year I want to start reading some of these kind of books and our nature books for planting flowers for bees and all that kind of thing. That definitely start reading in March. I say this because I left it so late this year that it's too late to really implement a lot of the things I'd like to. But I know to start earlier next year, so it's still a win in terms of knowledge. Okay, and this other one is Attracting Birds to Your Backyard. 536 Ways to Create a Haven for Your Favorite Birds. And this is by Sally Roth, who apparently also wrote a book about attracting butterflies and hummingbirds to your backyard. We've been having a lot of fun studying the birds in our backyard over the last year. And I laugh because when I was younger, I had a friend really into birds and I thought that was kind of odd. And now here I am many years later and I am the same. Okay, this seems like a huge amount of information. Okay, there's that one. 2 final books I'm going to share with you today, and this first one is called The Amazing Animal Atlas, and it's by Dr. Nick Crumpton and Gaia Bordisha, and this is by the Flying Eye Books, which I have a few of their comic books and absolutely love them, which I guess is why I'm so drawn to the artwork in these. This is telling you all the different animals in different parts of the world. And if you like this kind of artwork, it's simply beautiful in my opinion, because I do like these kind of illustrations. I thought I would show you this. I personally am not getting any more animal atlases, mostly because I find we read them once and we're not reading them again. So now when I looked for that book, I came across another one I'm so excited for. I definitely am adding this one to our family library. And this is called Myth Atlas. Maps and Monsters, Heroes and Gods from 12 Mythological Worlds. And this is by Thiago de Moraes. And in this book, it's offering 12 mythological and magical worlds. I am going to read you the back before I show you the inside of this gorgeous book. Prepare to enter 12 magical and mythological worlds. You might want to bring a map. But the maps in this book are special. They show how 12 extraordinary cultures saw the world. For some, it was a giant tree or an upside-down mountain, while others believe we were living on the back of a giant turtle. As you travel the world, you'll discover what cultures such as the Egyptians, Greeks, Hindus. I'm going to show you the inside. Can I show you the inside? Oh, okay. I do find it easier to go flip from the back, so that's what I'm going to do, so that you can see them and I can do it. Oh. It gives you the initial map and all the references, see them passing thereby, and then it gives you more information on each. Okay. I'm going to show you one of the maps for an example. Okay, so here we have, this one is the Hindu world. Definitely check this out, and if that's way too blurry, because I'm not sure, I'm sorry for my filming ineptitude, definitely check it out. Amazon probably has a look inside. This is what I have to say about this book, and why I'm so in love with it is because it's not simply Greek history and mythology, it's across the world. So, the 12 magical mythological worlds are the Native American world, the Aztec world, the Irish world, the Yanomami world, the Yoruba world, the Greek world, the Norse world, the Slavic world, the Hindu world, the Egyptian world, the Japanese world, and the Polynesian world. So what we're planning to do, I'll use the Norse mythology as an example because we started reading the Norse mythology book back in the spring and we'll be getting heavy into it again in the fall. What I'm going to do is sit down and we'll go through what is available here for Norse mythology. Then we'll get into more detail with our other books. And when that's finished, I'll return back to the Myth Atlas and we'll go through that again with our newly acquired knowledge. I think it's a great way to decide what to study next and also to have a reference point over the years to make sure that we study them all, because I love reading about other cultures and other mythologies from around the world. For example, it was one of the things I loved when we studied St. Patrick's Day this year for the first time, is that we ended up studying many Irish and Celtic myths that I had never read before, and I thoroughly enjoyed that experience. So I might be biased then, I guess, but of all the books that I showed you today, well, there's a couple, I was going to say this is my favorite, but there are a couple nature books, but this for sure is one of my faves. If you're curious to know what my favorite books were out of this haul, I'll show you. Of course, I just said, one is the Myth Atlas, this one for the backyard bird feeders, the Laws of Drawing Birds, and this one, What's It Like to Be a Bird? Definitely like birds in this home. If you have a favorite bird book or a book that you've got from the library that you would recommend, please leave it in the comments below. And if you saw something here that you are now going to try to get out of your library from a bookstore, please let me know what it is. It always helps for future videos. And be sure to hit like and subscribe for more videos like this. And I will see you soon with another bookish video.